Welcome into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head football coach Danny Stiff, getting set to welcome players and fans and you into the Bearcat Den tonight here at Pasquale's Pizza. We'll be here until 6:30 this evening. The buffet is going strong, and special thanks real quick to Richard Electric, their HVAC division. They stepped up this afternoon, and they are providing meals for the coaches and players of Coleman High School. So special thanks to all the folks at Richard Electric in their HVAC division. Folks, if your house has been hot the last few weeks, the folks at Richard Electric in their HVAC department can get your house cool for the rest of this fall and get you warmed up for fall and winter time. Coach, thanks for stepping in the Bearcat Den again. Wait, let's do this one. You're on this mic this week, not that one. Let's try that again, Coach.
You got me now?
I do.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Got a good show coming up this week. Got a couple of players to join us. Who we got joining us this week?
It'll be Cam Myers and Cooper Lofton.
Cam Myers and Cooper Lofton, two guys who had a big week last week. We'll get into talking more about last week's big win, this big region game coming up this week, and we're going to talk a little bit Pasquale's history, too. If we can get Donna Nunley out here on the radio shortly, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Pasquale's and Coleman High School and how it all ties back together with what we're doing here with the Bearcat Den each and every Wednesday night here from Pasquale's Pizza. More to come as we continue the Bearcat Den live from Pasquale's Pizza. Back in a moment here on Coleman's Live 95. Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear. This week, hear Fultondale at Good Hope, or the big Coleman County rivalry, Fairview at West Point. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app. Coleman County High School football on Coleman's own Live 95. Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95. In today's world, broadband internet is an absolute necessity. Unfortunately, the large cable and phone companies only provide broadband internet where it's profitable for them. For the rest of us, there's Cyber Broadband. Providing internet service since 2004, Cyber utilizes a small radio antenna to deliver broadband where cable and DSL don't go. You can join the 21st century today with Cyber Broadband, supporting streaming, VPN access, and everything else you've been wanting to do with that slow internet connection. It's Cyber Broadband for the win. They can be found online at cyberbroadband.net or look them up on Facebook. At Plus One Heating and Air, we believe in more than just fixing your HVAC system. Our team of skilled technicians is dedicated to providing top-notch service with a smile. Whether it's installation, repairs, or maintenance, you can trust Plus One Heating and Air to get the job done right the first time.
I've never experienced service like this before. Plus One Heating and Air not only fixed my heating system promptly, they also ensured everything was running smoothly. They truly care about their customers.
So when you're in need of heating and air services, remember the company that's willing to walk that extra mile for you. Plus One Heating and Air, where trust meets exceptional service.
Coleman's Live 95.
Live. 95.5.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live at Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, and we are honored to be joined now by Miss Donna Nunley. Folks, if you're from Coleman or around Coleman, you know her from Pasquale's years and years ago. She was always sitting right there, just inside the door, taking the order, making sure things were done right. They handed Pasquale's over about a year or so ago, and she was instrumental, one, in training the new staff and working with Taylor and working with Savannah and the entire gang to make Pasquale's what it is today. And, Donna, I just wanted to get you on here, one, and say thank you, too, because you were instrumental in making the connection between me and Coach Stiff to the folks here at Pasquale's and getting us here for the Bearcat Den, and I want to thank you. Oh, let me turn your microphone up now. Let's start over. I need to be not just a talking guy, but a producer, too. Now you're on.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Talk a little bit about the history of Pasquale's and how your family and Coleman Bearcat football and Pasquale's are all tied together.
Well, I think we started doing the football team maybe 92.
Okay.
And we've had them every Thursday night all through the seasons. And then we started on Wednesday night because it got a little bit hectic. And then it was Wednesday night after that. So up until COVID, we had them every year.
Yep.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
Talk about Coleman Bearcat football and the Nunley family, how they're joined.
Well, my son played for the Bearcats from 5 years old up until 2018. He graduated from Coleman in 2018, and he went to play for Eastern Kentucky football team on a football scholarship, and now he is coaching football. So football's in our family.
Talk a little bit about the new Pasquale's. What do you think about the new building and the new digs here?
It's wonderful. We couldn't have asked for anything better. I mean, we was ready to retire, and Steve and Mike Morgan, they came to me and they was ready to buy, and we were ready to sell. So, we couldn't have asked for anything better. I mean, they've made it a beautiful place, and this is what we always wanted to do, but we were just too tired and old to do it. So they did it, and it's beautiful, and they've done a great job, and Savannah and Taylor has just blown it away. It's great.
You were talking about how they, in my opinion, they have kind of honored you and your family and your history inside with a picture of you and your dad from almost 30 years ago. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they took a lot of old pictures, and I walked in one day, and they had a picture of me and my dad. My dad passed away in 2020, and don't want to tell my age, but I'm about to have a landmark birthday here shortly, and me and my dad's on the wall in there, and it was my 30th birthday, and my dad came by and brought me a balloon and a cake, and that picture's on the wall right now, so that's very special. And they've got a lot of pictures of my father-in-law, because he's had one of the first Pasquale's in Birmingham, and had 29 stores at one time, 29 Pasquale's, and so we go way back in the Pasquale era.
Well, Donna, again, I want to thank you for making the connection with Taylor and the folks here at Pasquale's to help get us back here for the Bearcat Den and bring back that tradition of Coleman Bearcat football in Pasquale's. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
The boys love it, too. So.
Well, thank you. We always enjoyed those boys coming in, every minute of it. We loved having them.
And you've got an apron on. You're not just here visiting tonight. You're in the kitchen working.
I'm helping out. I still come in from time to time, and I'll do whatever they need me to do. So I'm here.
So, folks, if you have been coming to Pasquale's but miss seeing Miss Donna, she's here tonight. So you've got a little bit this evening to come by and see her and join us in the Bearcat Den as we talk Coleman Bearcat football. Donna, I'll let you get back to the kitchen. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Donna Nunley, who has been instrumental, one, in Pasquale's Pizza over the years, but two, a very critical part in helping make a connection for us so that we could get the Bearcat Den back here in Pasquale's Pizza. We're live on Coleman's Live 95. We're also live at the Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page. Hello to all of you watching us out there on Facebook land. It'll also be uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95 YouTube page as well. Coach Stiff, we got a big win last week, a nice home win, maybe kind of a revenge win over Mortimer Jordan, because it felt like they took one from us last year. Talk a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly from last week.
Again, it goes back to it starts up front, O-line, D-line, had a really good game. Anytime you control the line of scrimmage, you can do a lot of things on both sides of the ball. So, I was really pleased with, kind of us coming back from Bob Jones and playing a little better football for sure.
Offensively, I think it's no secret the standout, maybe the player of the week in Coleman County this past week was Cooper Lofton.
Yeah.
207 rushing yards, I think, 3 touchdowns. It seemed like every time he touched the ball, except for one, he broke away. He was corralled in the backfield a few times, broke tackles. I think only one time they got him behind the line and actually able to keep him back there.
Yeah, and I think, one of the impressive things is when they got him corralled behind the line of scrimmage, he turns into 10, 15-yard runs. So that's a negative play that turns into a positive play. And then, up front, they blocked really well for him. So, you got to give the offensive line a lot of credit when somebody runs for over 200 yards, too.
Yeah, for sure.
they've got to block them. So, it was just a good effort in the run game all the way around. And, he kind of showed what he could do as a player, which is exciting to see him kind of get it going, because that's what we've seen in the offseason since we started back in, I guess when he came out in April or May, whenever it was after baseball. So, it's exciting to see him kind of get that and get the credit for it. He's put in the work. He's a really good kid, and he played really well the other night.
And he'll be joining us a little bit later on here at the Bearcat Den. Will be Cooper Lofton along with Cam Myers, outside linebacker, defensive back here for the Bearcats as well. Talk a little bit about the passing game last week, Coach. We kind of got back on track throwing the ball. Gay was 9 of 15 through the air, 114 yards, and connected with Cooper Oxtad for a 44. Or actually, Cooper had 44 yards in receptions on 3 catches, but Preston was able to move the ball around to several different receivers throughout the night.
Yeah, definitely. And, when you get the run game going like that, you stay in good down distances and you don't put yourself behind the sticks. It gives him more opportunity to kind of be comfortable back there and throw the football down the field. And take those shots and knowing, we're in a short yardage situation or in an advantageous situation where they're not just coming after him, knowing he's going to throw the ball and putting a bunch of coverages behind him. So it complemented the run game very well. And, again, a bunch of guys stepped up and caught passes in big situations. I mean, I can remember off the top of my head, Morgan Holly has a 4th down catch that was big. Rhett Tysinger had a big 3rd down catch. And then, of course, Cooper's always going to be our main guy from a pass game standpoint. And he's got to block a lot, too. So he's got his hands full and his plate full of what he's got to do in a night. So I'm just proud of those guys and seeing how they develop and just keep building on it for the rest of the season.
One thing I know that drives a coach crazy is giving up a touchdown when you've got a big lead with 8 seconds left in the ball game or so. Does that drive you crazy as a coach or not? Because we basically gave it to him on penalties, it seemed like.
Yeah, and the penalties are the biggest disappointment, I guess, of the deal. And then, we played with a certain edge all night on defense that I thought was awesome. You could feel the energy just standing on the sideline, that the energy the defensive guys went out there and had. And when that edge kind of loosens up at the end of a game, it makes me go the other way. I start losing my mind a little bit. So it was kind of a sour way to end such a good defensive performance the other night. But, it's, again, you can turn that into a learning lesson. And, really their other touchdown play, too, was one of the few bad plays we had. And other than that, we dominated on defense the rest of the night.
Takeaways from last week's game that we'll build on for this week?
I think it's good just to get out there and play up to the level we know we can play at. Just having the confidence to do that. A lot of this comes from confidence. The more you get comfortable in what we're doing, and with game planning and practice week and approach and all that, the more you can build on it, and the more it goes from week to week. And that's kind of the goal as a coaches, is you want to make sure we get better every week. And it definitely gives you something to build off of what we did last week.
Talk a little bit about the guys who gave Lofton a breather. Talk about Keel, and then talk about Stevie Prologo. Those 2 guys had a good night carrying the rock, too.
And they're both about half. You put
5'6", 135, I think, maybe.
You put Stevie and Weston together, and they're about Cooper size, you know. But they're very electric. So when you've got a big guy that's running the ball all night, and you're having to hit this big guy, and then all of a sudden it's not that he's slow, but they're so quick. They come in, and it's kind of a change of pace. So the defenders have been taking certain angles or tackling a certain way all night. Then they got to deal with those guys, and it's just a change of pace. And it's a really good compliment to having that big running back there. And, even Weston last year was played in a varsity game, and you could see just the explosion. He really has just great vision of the football. He knows where to cut it. Besides the one play, got us a holding call on because he bounced it, but he should have stayed inside. But he knows. And he's got great intangibles to be a good running back, and he's still a sophomore, so he's learning. And then Stevie's put in a lot of work. He was injured last year, so it was just good to see him get out there on the field and have some success. And I think he scored 2 touchdowns, but only one of them counted.
Yeah.
And but the only person that's going to stop Stevie, I always tell him, is Stevie. He gets them feet moving too fast sometimes and tries to cut before, he gets his feet back under him and he'll fall down on the ground. But he did great the other night. And he's just fun to watch him play. Both of them are fun to watch play.
Talk about practice this week, getting prepared for Athens in a big region game, coming off a big win like that at home last week. What's practice been like this week?
Yeah, I think the mood's definitely better from having played a better last week than we did when we played Bob Jones. So, I think, we'll never forget kind of that Bob Jones embarrassment. So that kind of sticks with us and sticks, into our habits of what we do during the week, and want to make sure that we do everything we can to prevent that from happening again. And so, it's practice. You've got a lot to prepare for with a team like Athens. One week on offense, they're in the I formation most of the game, and then 1 week they're in, split back offense, kind of shotgun deal. So when a team does stuff like that, you've got a lot to prepare for. And then defensively, Coach Bray was here a few years ago, who's their defensive coordinator. So he knows Coach Gleaton very well, and, they know him very well. So, you kind of know it's more predictable on that side of the ball. But you know how his defense is going to play, and they're going to be sound in what they do and have a really good scheme for you. So you're just trying to prepare for all that and make sure the kids know. We usually know as coaches by Monday, have a pretty good idea of what we want to do and how we want to do it. And then it's getting it out there on the practice field and working through the kinks of it throughout the week.
Coming up, we'll be joined by Cam Myers and Cooper Lofton, 2 Bearcats who had a big game last week against Mortimer. Jordan, we'll talk a little bit about last week's game, and then we'll start looking forward to Friday night, the big region game here at Oliver Woodard Stadium on Mark Britton Field as the Athens Golden Eagles come to town to take on our Bearcats. We're in the Bearcat Den from Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 and live on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page as well. Hello to all of you watching us on Facebook. We'll have this uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95 YouTube channel as well later on. You can come back and watch it again later. Coming right back with Cam Myers and Cooper Lofton as we continue in the Bearcat Den here from Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman.
You know, we have one of the coolest places right here in Coleman. It's Cleaning and More Coleman on County Road 437. Cleaning and More Coleman has reliable and professional residential and commercial cleaning services tailored to your needs. And I know because we use Cleaning and More Coleman at the Warhurst Team Realtors for our buyers and sellers. Cleaning and More Coleman is more than just cleaning supplies. They have janitorial supplies like trash can liners of all sizes, cleaning supplies, mops, brooms, paper towels, they have it all. Plus concession stand and restaurant supplies like cups, cutleries, plates, to-go containers, bags, straws, nacho trays, even popcorn bags. Cleaning and More Coleman has it all. Need climate control storage? How about 10 by 10, 10 by 15, and 10 by 20 units? And they even have the U-Haul trucks to carry your stuff. You can check them out at cleaningandmorecoleman.com. You can get info at cleaningandmorecoleman.com, or the way I like, you can dial them up at 256-736-9944. 256-736-9944. Cleaning and More Coleman, County Road 437, under the big white sign with the U-Hauls.
So I'd been battling depression for quite a while, and I tried different medications, and it would get better, but then they would start to taper off. And I would fall back into those feelings of apathy, worthlessness, and not wanting to do anything. After TMS, I wake up every day energized and ready to take on the day.
We started Sound Mind TMS to provide treatments for depression and anxiety that really work. We'd love for you to come to the office for consultation to see if TMS may save your life.
Sound Mind TMS, 256-735-9475. Or for more information, you can visit our website, soundmindtms.com.
In the game of mortgages, experience matters. Meet Josh Phillips, a veteran with over 13 years in the mortgage industry. As a leader in the local mortgage community, Josh is more than just just a lender. He's a partner who believes in making an impact. At Impact Mortgage Group, they're not just making mortgages. They're making a positive impact on borrowers and our community. You can experience the difference, too, with Josh Phillips at Impact Mortgage Group.
I'm Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group. You can reach me at 256-338-2920, and I'll show you how my experience can help impact your next home purchase.
NMLS number 338177.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Live 95.5.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza on Highway 31 in Coleman. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 and live on Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page as well. Hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. We'll have this uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95's YouTube channel later on tonight. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, and we're joined by Cam Myers and Cooper Lofton, two gentlemen who had a big week last week against Mortimer Jordan. Cam and Cooper, thank you guys for coming by.
Thank you.
Cooper, I guess we'll start with you, sir, from an offensive performance. It seemed like I was calling your name left and right last week over the PA system, and happy to do so because you had some big holes opened up by your offensive line, 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. Talk a little bit about last week.
Oh, yeah, the O-linemen were opening up massive holes. They were doing well up front.
Talk about your vision when you get the ball from Preston. Tell me what you're looking for out there, because I know from my perspective they were gaping holes sometimes, and sometimes you had to create your own space and knock guys down to get some yards.
And sometimes you just have to come up there slow, but opens up. They do well up front.
Yep. Cam, from a defensive perspective, the best performance of the season so far by the Bearcats. Really gave up 7 points. The late touchdown was just what it was. But talk a little bit about the defensive effort last week.
Man, we were really just stopping the run. We were making them a one-play team. All they could do was pass the ball on us. We were just doing our job, hitting our gaps, and we weren't missing tackles. We were just doing our job.
Yep. Cooper, from an offensive perspective last week, tell me what you think that you guys did the best last week.
Run the ball at the middle.
With you, of course, right? Yeah, but it was obvious the run game was working. I mean, we threw the ball and kept them loose, but it was obvious you were working. Brag on the big uglies up front who make that possible for you.
They're great. They're great. I tried to get them to sign the ball this week, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it?
No, I brought the ball to their section, brought a Sharpie, and they said no, and we're not signing it.
Cam, defensively, look back at last week. Talk about some things that you and your defensive squad did good and some things you may have to kind of tweak for Athens this week.
Our D-line, they really do good at holding the double teams. I mean, they leave it wide open for the linebackers, and it makes it real easy on us. A couple of things we need to work on is staying outside leverage and screen plays. And then just the backfield. We do pretty good in the box, front seven. And then we're just stepping it up this year.
Well, talk about that stepping up. When you say you're stepping it up this year, we've stepped it up from week 1 to week 2. Talk about how you have stepped it up going from the first game and going into game 3.
After Bob Jones, we just came in with a different mindset. We came in a lot more intense. We know we don't want to be a losing program. We want to come out here and we want to win games. So we got that mindset now, and we're not looking back on it.
Cooper, same thing offensive last week. It's almost like the offense had a little bit of mojo going for you last week.
Yeah.
Talk about that attitude and the confidence. It seemed more like confidence going out there. You knew that you were going to be successful.
Well, I was on the team last year, but apparently they did something to us that really pissed them off, and they came in here this week and they were mad. They wanted it back.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get our first region game this week. The Athens Golden Eagles roll to town. They're 2-0 on the season, coached by Cody Gross. Cody's 50-38 overall in Athens. He's about even in region games, 25-23. I remember Cody Gross when I was doing this. I was doing radio at the University of North Alabama, and he was a quarterback there. Makes me feel old, but I was doing sideline commentary in the halftime show when Cody was playing quarterback at UNA.
He won a national championship, didn't he?
Won 3.
3, yeah.
His son is the quarterback at Athens, and he kind of reminds me of a lot of Cody watching film. He can scramble. He creates plays. It looks like, Cam, they want to, from what I've been able to watch, it looks like they kind of want to throw the ball first, and then they get inside the red zone. They're going to line up with 3 backs and try to run it, but then they may come out and run it from the get-go. Talk about how it's been preparing for what Athens wants to throw at you this week.
I mean, they're a good offense. They're really well coached, well schemed offense. But it's nothing. I mean, we saw it last year. They have athletes. We just got to game plan and get ready for them. And I don't really know.
Cooper, defensively, they look a little bit stingy against the run game. And after your performance last week, they're going to be keying on you. Talk about that and how that may open up some things on the outside for you guys, too.
Well, their linebackers are much bigger than more Jordans were, but we've same game plan, run it down their throats this week.
Coach, your perspective?
Run it down their throats sounds good to me. And then offensively, kind of what they do is, they've been, like I told you, they've been in the eye sometimes, and so we've had to prepare split back, open sets. So it's a lot to prepare for. We've gotten a lot of reps this week at a lot of the stuff, so we kind of segment it pass game, run game, and then kind of try to piece it all together in some stuff we do. But, we know they're well coached, and we know, when you play a quarterback that experienced, it kind of puts you at another level as a coach, because you can't just line up in things and show him everything. So you kind of got to disguise some stuff and try to trick him a little bit into doing some stuff that he's comfortable doing, and maybe people aren't going to be in the places he thinks they're going to be, stuff like that. So I like playing skilled, veteran quarterbacks, because it's more of a little chess match with him on the field. So I enjoy that part of it. And then it's just, it just goes back to the basics. So you gotta get off blocks. You gotta attack leverage of people, and you gotta leverage things the right way on the football. Same thing on offense. You gotta leverage the blocks the right way. And just attack people at the line of scrimmage first, and then you can build it downfield once you get the line of scrimmage going.
Cooper, talk about the defense from Athens a little bit, because it looks like they predominantly want to play a three-man front, and they put three backers back there or four. That's going to do two things for us, in my opinion. I want to know yours from an offensive running back perspective. Two, with their huge splits and a three-man front, that makes huge holes for you if you get there before the backer does. But then two, if they try to cram in there, it's going to open it up for our receivers, because the DBs are playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage too. As a former receiver, I'm getting sweaty palms ready for that ball to come to me when the DBs are off the line 10 yards. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we got to get them where we want them. Put them, run up the middle, get them inside, throw it outside. And they can't cover everything.
Cam, going back to your perspective from defense, talking a little bit about Brogan Gross, his scrambling ability, his ability to create plays. We're going to have to keep somebody who's watching him. Talk about a little bit about preparation without giving away the game plan on what we're going to do to try to corral Gross.
Well, I really think I trust our secondary in covering the receivers, and I think they'll have no problem covering them. So they'll give the linebackers a little bit of leeway to watch the QB, spy the QB. I think that really helps us out.
Talk about what a difference it made last week, having the game back at our house, being at Oliver Woodard Stadium on Martin Britton Field. Talk about that. Talk about your student section of the fan base there.
It brought a lot more energy to the game. We were always in a good mood. We had a lot more energy that game. Against Bob Jones, we were real dead. We didn't even look like we wanted to be there. Against Mortimer Jordan, we knew they had taken something from us last year, and we really wanted to get that back. And then everyone in the student section knew that too, so they were always bringing all the energy. And then we just used it, and we did our job, and we went out there and won.
Cooper, talk about from a running back perspective when you bust a big run and you hear the crowd go nuts and the band play, and talk about that feeling.
Oh, it's excitement. Great. It's great. It's great, and then you have the coaches coming up, chest bumping.
Yeah, we're going nuts too. Yeah. It's fun.
What talk again? A bitch and going back to crowd and things at home. Didn't quite have a packed house last week. Give your plea to the folks of Coleman why they need to be here Friday night to catch you guys on the field against Athens.
Why not? Why not come see the Cats?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a show.
Yep.
I think that everyone should come, because it's gonna be fun. It's a region game. They took something from us last year, and we're trying to go get it back this year.
Bearcats coming to it 1-1. Athens comes in 2-0. Overall, let me find my notes. Athens leads the series 34 wins to 25 losses and 1 tie. I had to look up when the 1 tie was. The 1 tie came October 22nd of 1965 when Oliver Woodard, who the stadium is named after, was in his 7th season here at Coleman. The final score of that game, 0-0. Nobody scored. They just gave up. I guess they had a time limit and couldn't take it over into Saturday. But the one tie in the series between Coleman and Athens. We're in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman, live on Coleman's Live 95, also live on the Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page as well. Want to say special thanks to Richards Electric HVAC Division. They took care of the meals tonight for the players and coaches here for Coleman High School. So special thanks to the Richard Electric HVAC Division for taking care of meals for players and coaches. We're trying to bring back the tradition of Pasquale's Pizza and Coleman Bearcat football in the Bearcat Den. So thank you to the HVAC Division there of Richard Electric for taking care of that. Folks, if you got a hot house, they can cool you off, or if you want to get it checked out before winter, the folks at Richard Electric's HVAC Division can take care of that for you. If you would like to step up and sponsor meals on a Wednesday night here in the Bearcat Den, we'd love to talk to you. You can just message me, Tommy Warhurst, on Facebook. We'll hook you up with Taylor and Savannah, the folks here at Pasquale's Pizza. More from the Bearcat Den when we continue here from Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman on Coleman's Live 95.
In 1952, 7 men at an aluminum plant banded together and started Lister Hill Credit Union with only $5 each. Today, more than 92,000 have joined us, continuing the legacy of supporting themselves and the community through Lister Hill. It's all about we and what we can do together.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tisha Brewer right here in Coleman could switch you over and you could start saving today. Tisha and her team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tisha Brewer, it's easy to switch and save.
I'm Tisha at Tisha Brewer State Farm. We're located behind Cook's Pest Control at 909 Fisher Street. You can reach us at 256-734-4645. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coleman Electric Cooperative's mission is to make life better in the communities we serve. That starts by providing reliable, affordable electricity, while our Sprout Fiber Internet service delivers blazing fast broadband internet to homes, schools, and businesses. Coleman Electric Cooperative is a proud supporter of student athletes, cheerleaders, and band members who work hard every day to make their families and community proud. Coleman Electric Cooperative and Sprout Fiber Internet, powerful connections, brighter future.
Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear. This week, hear Fultondale at Good Hope, or the big Coleman County rivalry, Fairview at West Point. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app. Coleman County High School Football on Coleman's own Live 95. Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95.
I don't know, they're contemporary. They're not like everybody else.
Live 95.5.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza, Highway 31 in Coleman. Got the buffet going inside tonight to the Bearcat Den. We are live on Coleman's Live 95, also live on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page. Hello to all of you out there in video land. I'm a radio guy doing TV too, so bear with us here on the TV part of it. We'll have this uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95's YouTube page a little bit later on tonight. You can go back and watch it there. I'm joined in the Bearcat Den by Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, Coach Cooper Lofton, and Cam Myers were just here. I want to give you a moment right now just to brag on those two gentlemen and what they mean to your program. One is athletes, but as leaders and people, just good guys.
Yeah, they really are. They're just great kids before you start talking about them being football players. They're very consistent in how they show up every day. They both work very, very hard and ask questions and kind of get info. I mean, Cooper didn't even play football last year. I don't think he's played since 9th grade.
Oh, wow.
So, he's come a long way since we first got him. I mean, there's a lot to learn in our offense. And he's never really struggled with that. He's kind of picked it up and ran with it. And like I said, the most important thing for me when players will ask good questions. Now, Cam asks a lot of questions, all right, but I like that because, if you got questions, ask them. Yeah. Some guys won't ask any questions, and then they go out there and they don't know what they're doing, and you're like, bro, just say something.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the communication, and they're just fun kids to be around each day. Just their attitude, their effort. They're easy to coach. They can take it when you get on them, and they can take the praise too, and not let that go to their heads. So I like coaching guys like them. They're awesome.
I talked to Cam and Cooper a lot about Athens and preparation for there from a coaching perspective, kind of the same thing to you. I'm watching it on film thinking, okay, when are they going to run the ball? They came out against last week against Buckhorn and almost threw it every single down. Then they get in the red zone, then they try to run it.
14 plays in a row. But what's funny about that, it actually was all called run plays, so they're RPO plays. So I guess they liked the look that they were getting last week from Buckhorn. But most of those passes were called run plays that he pulled and threw the ball. So anytime you play an RPO team, it gives you a lot to prepare for. You got to cover them both, And Mortimer Jordan was a lot of the same way. So, we've got to maybe trick him into throwing the RPO sometimes and then being on it and then getting them to run the ball when we want them to by covering some of that stuff. And it just gives you got to have everybody on their P's and Q's, all 11 people, to stop an offense like that. And they're going to take advantage of it if you're not, like they did last week.
I was kind of wondering if Coach Gross was just putting everything he could out there to get everything on film to get people to prepare for. Even had a fake punt at last week's game. You got to spend time preparing on a fake punt now.
Yeah, Cody, his son
and a double pass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, his son's the quarterback. I mean the punter. Which is funny. He's a right-handed quarterback that punts left-footed, so that kind of baffled me at first. But yeah, no, I'd rather them show us everything, let us prepare for it, than just pulling it out when they play us. At least you get to see it, and you get to see the different combinations of routes and the RPOs and the different run game they do it off of, and kind of who they're reading and what they're keying and what they like. So I'm glad we got to see all that. And then, like I said, 2 weeks ago, they're in the I formation running the football for most of the game. And, sometimes that it's good because then they might come out and do something else different this week, if they've already changed from week to week. So, but sometimes when teams aren't, they're searching for some stuff. They're searching for what they like the best. Sometimes it can be a good sign that maybe they haven't figured out exactly who they want to be yet. It could be scary, but it's also a good thing in that regard. And then, defensively, we know what they're going to do and who they're going to be. So, it's just a matter of who's going to execute it better on which side.
From a defensive perspective, Athens is only giving up 7 points a game. Coach, how do we move the ball on them?
Like I said, it starts up front with the offensive line and the run game. That's how you're going to – if you're not good there, they can just tee off on you in the pass game. So you got to be able to move the ball in the run game and control the flow of the football game. I thought last week the flow of the offense and defense, the way we were playing was very good. And what I mean by that is, if you're running the ball very consistently on a defense, it's tiring to get a guy down, especially when it's a big guy like Cooper. It's very tiring to get a guy like that down, and everybody's having to pursue and run to the football and then get up and play the play action passes. And then you go on defense for us, and we get a 3 and out. All of those guys that were already tired, they just sat down They got a sip of water, and now they're yelling for the punt team to come out there. And it's the same, probably some guys that are on the punt team. So now they're going back out there tired. So they're starting the series tired. So when the defense can get 3 and outs and the offense can establish long drives and run the ball, it just wears on you. It wears on you. I've been on the other end of that before, and it's exhausting. And you can't make adjustments on the defensive side if your offense is getting off the field real fast. Because, you get under there in the tent, and we got these TVs and everything, and it's awesome. But when you first sit down and then, they're calling you for already go back out there, you haven't talked about anything you needed to adjust to yet. So, we did a great job kind of the flow of that and playing off each other last week. So we could take advantage of them getting tired. And, you can take advantage of them not being able to make adjustments. And then our defense is sitting over there making adjustments for so long, they ain't got nothing else to talk about. So that's good.
Offensively, they like to sling it around, no doubt. I mean, they're going to try to beat us deep as much as they can, run a seam pass with the tight end in there. They're averaging 32 points a game. Talk about how we slow them down and get them out of our rhythm and get Gross where he's not comfortable back there, and he makes the wrong decision.
Yeah, and you want him to not be comfortable pre-snap, because real good quarterbacks like that if he's played for 4 or 5 years, however long it is, they can line up pre-snap and basically tell what kind of defense you're in. So he needs to not know what we're in until the ball snap. That's a key. So however we disguise it or whatever looks we show, the ball needs to get snapped and then the look needs to change. Or, people aren't where he thought they were going to be, and that causes him to hesitate. And then he's not as quick triggered. And then, you can't let him out in the pocket. There's 2 things. He's really, really good scrambler. He is great running the football. He's a great athlete. And then they're really good at scramble drill. So what that means is when a play breaks down and the quarterback gets out of the pocket, the receivers have to move with the quarterback. And most teams, the deep receivers come back to the ball. The short receivers go deep, and they do it very, very fast. It's almost like the receivers know what read they are. And if he hadn't hit that read, then they almost change what they do. So you've got to be very good at not letting him out of the pocket to scramble around. And then, kind of plastering, what I call it, and covering people after you've already covered them, basically. And making sure that if we blitz, we got to make sure that, whoever's supposed to be on the edge is on the edge. We got to be in the right gaps when we blitz so he doesn't have anywhere to squirt out of. And just mix up the looks, put pressure on him, and, cover really well and cover until the play's over.
We're in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. Still got time for you to come by and enjoy the buffet here. I think it's only $10 tonight here at Pasquale's Pizza, so come by and feed the family. Then you got time to get to church later on tonight. If you missed any of today's show, we have it on the Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page now. You can go back and watch it there later, or it will be uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95's YouTube page a little bit later on tonight. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Athens coming to town for our first region game and wrap up week 3 here of the Bearcat Den from Pasquale's Pizza live in Coleman here on Coleman's Live 95.
Hey, Coleman drivers. Are you tired of the hassle and confusion when it comes to buying a car? Well, we've got fantastic news for you. Meet Adam Aker at Mitch Smith Chevrolet in Coleman, your go-to guy for a no-nonsense car buying experience.
Hey, folks. Adam here. Buying a car shouldn't be stressful. That's why at Mitch Smith Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on transparency, trust, and there's never any BS at MS.
That's right. Adam Aker and the Mitch Smith Chevrolet team are changing the game.
I live and breathe Coleman, just like you. So when you step into our showroom, you're not just another customer, you're family. Together, we'll find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Remember, Adam Aker, Mitch Smith Chevrolet, what's not to love?
Live 95 is brought to you in part by Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point, now with several locations across the state, but still located in the heart of Coleman County. They are a proud sponsor of Coleman Community Radio on Live 95. Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point Bank, member FDIC.
Are you ready to make your next move in Coleman? Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Angela. We're not just realtors, we're a family dedicated to helping yours.
We're not just about buying or selling property. We're about building connections within our community.
From local schools to charity events, we're active because we care about Coleman.
When you use us, you're not just getting one realtor, you're getting a team working around the clock for you.
With our experience and expertise, we'll guide you through every step of the process.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group.
We make it happen, you make it home.
Need to be seen? GoTee Screen Printing and Embroidery can get your name and logo seen all over town. Whether it's hats, shirts, jackets, or hoodies, GoTee Screen Printing and Embroidery can hook you up. They also have promotional items like pins, cups, koozies, bags, and more. Does your club, team, or school need a fundraiser? GoTee Screen Printing and Embroidery can set up an online store for you. From concept to completion, GoTees can take care of all your promotional needs. GoTee Screen Printing and Embroidery. For more information, you can visit www.shopgotees.com. That's GOOTEES. GoTees Screen Printing and Embroidery.
Check it out now. The heat of the moment. We could have had it all. Life in the fast lane. 'Cause I'd already.
Live. I'm sorry, is that funny? Are you stand-up comic? Is that what you do now?
95.5.
Coleman's Live 95.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasqualies Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 on the Coleman's Live 95 Facebook page as well. And later on tonight, we'll have this show uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95 YouTube page as well. We love high school football season here at Coleman's Live 95. Got two big games for you this week. We'll have Fairview and Springville, and we'll also have Fairview and West Point, and we'll have Good Hope and Fultondale. Those are the two big games coming for you this week on Coleman's Live 95. You can check our Facebook page for the channel assignments for those on the FM or on the app and on the stream. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman coach Danny Stiff. We've talked a little bit about Mortimer Jordan last week, talked about Athens coming up this week. Coach, again, from your perspective, too, I want to ask the players about what it means to have the fans and the band and all that stuff behind you in there. I know you probably don't hear a lot because your headset, but I know you have to feel some of that.
Yeah, I can tell, definitely. You can tell that the players love it. They feed off of it. They feed off the crowd. They feed off the energy. And when they can keep their energy level up for a whole game, that can be pretty exhausting for the other team to kind of play in an environment like that. So it makes it hard for the other team, and it makes it better for our guys. So all the way around, it's just an advantage for us to have a great home crowd. And you can just look at college football and point spreads and stuff around the league, and you can tell that there is definitely a home field advantage from a crowd standpoint. So the louder we can get, the more people we can get there, it actually does help our football team win a game. So we need as much support and people there screaming, yelling that we can possibly get.
This community is second to none as far as monetarily supporting the football program, the band, amazing. The cheerleaders, and everything that we need. We need to get some rumps and some seats and make Oliver Woodard a little bit more rowdy this week as Athens comes to town. It's our first region game, our first step toward making that playoff run, Coach.
Yeah, and I told the kids, I think we match up with Parker's region, and I said this is the first step to not be in the 4th seed. Yeah. And you don't want to be the 4th seed in this region because you're going to play one of the better teams in the state, maybe the best team in the state, round one, and we don't want to do that again. We'd rather give ourselves an opportunity to kind of catch fire in the playoffs. So, this is the first step to winning the region, and that's been our goal since we talked about it in last December. We felt like Athens, we played, especially after the first quarter or so, we played plenty well enough to win that game and kind of had them reeling on their heels a little bit at the end and just couldn't capitalize after that onside kick. And, I think some people on our team, especially, I wouldn't say they acted the nicest either after that. So I think that's kind of stuck with some of us. And we haven't forgotten it. And it's like I said a couple weeks ago, there was two games this year that we almost have a personal vendetta against. One of them was last week, and the other one's this week. And they're a little personal to us. So it means a lot. I can see it in how the guys have practiced, and just you can hear them when they talk, and they don't think you're listening, but you're listening. Yeah. And just like their approach and mindset to this deal, it's a big deal for them. And I think we all, me and the players and the rest of the coaches, we all feel about the same way about it.
Those of you listening on the radio and those of you watching us on Facebook, we need you at Oliver Woodard Stadium Friday night. It means a lot to these kids, means a lot to the cheerleaders and to the band members. They bust their rumps all year long to bring a good quality product to the field and try to represent our community well. So we need you in the stands, not just sitting there either. We need you standing up, yelling, screaming, clapping, just like you would if you were at an Alabama or Auburn game on Saturday. We need that in the stands on Friday night, Coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is Athens at Coleman this coming Friday night, our first region game. Hope to see you at Oliver Woodard Stadium. I'll talk to you there from the PA system on Friday night. We are in the Bearcat Den. The buffet is going until closing tonight, so you've got plenty of time to come on down to Pasqualies tonight and enjoy the pizza buffet. Before we get out here, I want to say a special thanks again to Richard Electric and their HVAC department for providing meals tonight for the Coleman players and coaches. Thank you to all the folks at Richard Electric in their HVAC division. Folks, if your house is hot, they can get it cooled down, or they can get you that checkup before the cold weather of winter comes in too. That's the friendly folks there at Richard Electric HVAC here in town. Thank you for providing meals tonight for the Coleman Bearcat players and coaches. And if your business would like to step up and provide a meal for the players and coaches in the Bearcat Den as we bring back the tradition of Coleman Bearcat football in Pasquales, just reach out to me, Tommy Warhurst, on Facebook, and we'll hook you up with Taylor or Savannah or the gang here at Pasquale's Pizza so that you can be a part of the Bearcat Den and give back to this Coleman Bearcat program. Final thoughts, Coach?
I'm about to crush that buffet in there.
Yep. Thanks for joining us in the Bearcat Den tonight. As I mentioned, we'll be back here every Wednesday night, 5:30 until 6:30. Until then, I'll talk to you Friday night from Oliver Woodard Stadium on Martin Britton Field. Tommy Warhurst checking out the Bearcat Den here from Pasquale's Pizza in Coleman.
You sit here and watch these kids eat for an hour, and you're like, oh, man.